guys, Stevewolbach, your friendly public adjuster. This is a follow-up to a video I did just recently about the homeowner versus the insurance company. And what are your chances of coming out with a positive result when you go up against the insurance adjuster? You know, I pointed out in the first video, what type of training did you go through? What experience do you have? On a regular basis, how many claims are you dealing with? How many different policies do you get to see? Where are you learning that are the pitfalls of each of these policies where there are big gotchas that the insurance adjuster can use against you? Well, now let's take it a step further. When you have damage, what has to be done? There's what's called a field scoping. The field scoping is where you'll go out and you take a look at the damage. You're going to take some pictures, right? We're going to capture all the damaged areas, and then you're going to go with a line-by-line item estimate of what was damaged and then what will be required to restore that back to what we all know as pre-loss conditions. That's right. That's the whole purpose of filing a claim, is to allow the insurance company to come out, make their assessment, to pay you X amount of funds. That the purpose of that is then to restore you or allow you to have a contractor, or you can do it yourself, it doesn't matter, but to have somebody come out with funds that were supplied by the contract, by the insurance company, geez, I'll get that out, and pay to restore you back to pre-loss condition, which is to restore the damage that had occurred. We want to bring it back to prior to that occurrence, prior to the damage you suffered. So again, how does that happen? We're taking each line item. If you have damage on your side, on your the sides of the walls, if you had damage on the front slope, on the roof, we're going to look at that. Is it missing gutters? You know, are we missing any type of trim? You know, is there damage to the soffit? How about to the fascia board? All these things come into play when we're inside and we look at a wall. You know, what's happened there? Is it going to take a half a sheet of drywall to replace what's been damaged? And once you do that, now we need to paint. You know, do we paint just 4 walls, or does that room flow into another room? And if so, and we call that being continuous, then does that other room also have to have a line item of more square footage of painting that will go to in your estimate? You know, or is there crown molding? The crown molding has to be removed. Is the ceiling going to be painted? Is the ceiling the same color as the sidewalls? And if so, all that gets painted. If you have a situation where you have a light fixture or multiple lights in the ceiling, now we need to address some electrical issues with prior to getting that painted. All these things come into play. If the carpet has gotten damaged, now we have to pull the carpet out. Well, what's it going to take to do that? Is there baseboard molding that has to be removed? What's the linear feet of that? What is your square foot of carpet? You're working on an estimate of an itemized line-by-line item of all these different issues that will have a dollar value for the material costs, and then you also have a line item for labor to do this. If there's a lot of heavy furniture in the room, there's something that's called contents manipulation. That's moving the heavy equipment out of the room so that you can put the new floor in and first demo the old floor. Well, that has a dollar value. You know, do we need a dumpster outside when the roof's being done? All these things come into play. You as the homeowner, are you qualified to list all these different items and to come up with a dollar value of had them go back? You're talking about numerous trades, right? That's where a public adjuster, using the software that we use, because that's what the insurance company uses, which is known as Xactimate, we will put together that line-by-line item. We know what the procedure is of what needs to be taken down, what needs to be removed and replaced or reinstalled. You know, all these different items have a dollar value to them. That's what we capture in our estimate. We're picking apart meticulously each thing that needs to take place, which function has to happen so that the next process can go. If you have a piano in the room and you need to move it to another room to be able to work on that floor, do you think maybe you should retune it? Absolutely. That piano, once it's moved, needs to be retuned. Would you have ever thought of that? There are so many things that come into play with this. If you're dealing with water issues and you have to open up a wall and maybe re-insulate things, are we up to code? Once we start opening things and we see where we are, maybe the local inspector says, hey, we need to actually build this back to what today's current code is, not to what was built before. Well, how do we go about doing that? Does the client have protection, have coverage to pay for that? Or is that going to come out of your pocket, Mr. and Mrs. Homeowner? That's what the public adjuster does. He takes all these issues into consideration to be able to do the best job, to put the best estimate together on your behalf to make sure you are paid fairly and adequately to what? What's that? Restore you back to pre-loss conditions. Exactly. It all comes down to that. If you have a horrible policy with limited coverage, a lot of these things can't be done. We're able to evaluate that policy from the very beginning and see what your policy will allow, what your policy's coverage will entail. More often than not, the homeowner is not in a position to do that. This is no reflection on you, Mr. and Mrs. Homeowner. You just don't have the training, the knowledge, the know-how, the experience that we have. Isn't it good to know that there's somebody that can come out and do this for you and look out for your best interests? Just like the insurance company knows that when the insurance adjuster comes out, he's looking for their best interests. We end up leveling the playing field. We have somebody that goes toe-to-toe with the insurance adjuster. That's what you want. That's who you want on your team. And yes, it does cost. There is a cost for that. But it's been proven time and time and again what our fee is to do this for you. At the end, when the dust settles, you will make out better than if you would have just allowed the insurance adjuster come in and do whatever he wanted there. That's the value we add. Guys, if you liked what you just heard, I know it was a little shocking, but if you liked what you just heard, would you give me one of these? Would you also share this? Maybe you know somebody that's just going through where they had so much damage, things are being rebuilt, and every day it's another headache that they're being told that this isn't covered and that they don't know where they're going to get money to do this, and how about that? Give us a call. Give me, that friendly guy, Stevewolbach. Let me help you. All my contact information is at the end of this video. Guys, have yourself a great day. God bless you.